Alright, so we are looking at logarithmic graphs and transformations. Specifically, what does a logarithmic graph look like? What is the domain and range of a logarithmic function? What does a transformed logarithmic graph, function graph look like? And how does the transformation affect the domain and the range? So, let's get started with the logarithmic graphs. And so, the first thing we're going to do is just build a log graph. So, we'll say y equals log base 10 of x. Now, if you remember, the way that we were going to convert this from a logarithmic equation to an exponential equation is we'll say base 10 of y equals x. So the base goes here. The thing that's on the other side of the equal sign is the exponent. Because remember, logarithm says show me the exponent, and then over here this is what it equals. So we'll make a table, but it's actually going to be easier when we are building our table to plug some different y values in here and then see what those equal on the x side here. So I'm going to say -2. So then the x is 10 to the -2, so that's 1 over 10 squared, so that's 1 over 100, so 0.01. When y is -1, we have 10 to the -1, so that's 1 over 10 to the first, which is 0.1. When y is 0, then we have 10 to the 0, which anything to the 0 is 1. When y is 1, we have 10 to the first, so 10. When y is 2, we have 10 squared, which is 100. When y is 3, we have 10 cubed for the x, and that's 1,000. So we can see some interesting things going on here. Let's go ahead and plot these points. So a y value of -2, so that's anywhere along this line right here for y value of -2. We're kind of plotting this differently here. We have a 0.01, so maybe we can think of it like that. So go over 0.01, go down 2. Got it. Then for 0.1, so that's going to be just kicked over just a little bit more. We're going to go down -1. So this first point should be a lot closer there, but you get the idea. For an x value of 1, we're going to have a y value of 0. So that's right there on that x-axis. For an x value of 10, so go over here to 10 on the x, we're going to go up 1. Wow, so this thing is really moving slowly here. We took a whole 10 on the x-axis to go up 1 on the y-axis, and if we have to go even further, the next step here, we have to go over to 100, which is totally off my screen. I don't even have enough room for that. So 100 is way the heck down here. And that would finally get us to 2, which I drew higher than I should have. But anyway. So if we plot those points, that one's a little bit off. It's more of something like this. So we have, you can see it's sort of like a sideways exponential. It's actually a reflection of the exponential function along the y equals x-axis. So let's discuss the domain and the range. So thinking about the domain, we're looking at limitations on the x. Clearly, the x value is going to go over here to infinity. We want to know, does this thing ever cross the x-axis and go negative, or sorry, cross the y-axis and go negative? So can x be 0 or can x be negative? Well, we said that x is equal to 10 to the y. So let's ask the question, can 10 to the y be negative? So is there any number right up here that I could put which will end up making 10 to that number be negative? And the answer is no, there isn't. You've got 10 to some power, so it's like 10 to the first, 10 to the second. Even if you have, so 10 to any positive number is going to be positive, and even if you have negative numbers up here, that's just going to be numbers that are, 1 over 10 squared, 1 over 10 cubed, 1 over 10 to the third. You're never going to get a negative multiplier out here. Once you're positive, you're always positive. So the answer is no. Therefore, the domain is all x values greater than 0. I should have said, can it be negative or can it be 0? And the answer is no. It's never going to be 0, never going to be negative numbers. So the domain is all x greater than 0. And the range, all reals, everything down here from negative infinity up to positive infinity. And like I said earlier, it's sort of an exponential or sideways exponential graph. We note here that the logarithmic graph is slow to grow. So it takes, got to kick over 100 here to go up another unit. Got to kick over to 1,000 to hit up here to the next number, to the 3. So slow to grow is logarithmic. All right, and let's go ahead and talk about some transformations. So let's say we've got the basic function y1 is log of any base to the x, then we've got y2 is log of x plus or minus k. And just like with all functions, if you've got this k outside of what the original function is, then that's going to be a vertical shift, up or down, depending on if you have positive k, that's going to be shifting up, negative k, that's going to shift you down. We'll look at an example here in a second. Y3, if you have that plus or minus h, that's going to correspond to a left or a right shift, and if you remember, we saw that it is counterintuitive that it's going to shift to the left when h is positive, and it's going to shift to the right when h is negative, because it sort of hits those x values sooner, and then here it hits those x values later. So let's go ahead and look at some graphs here. So y equals log of x. Now here, graphing this on Desmos, that's going to assume log base 10. Let's do log of x plus 5 and log of x minus 2. And you can see the plus 5 pushed everything up 5 units, and the minus 2 shifted them down 2. And we'll go ahead and zoom out, and you can see just how slowly this grows. It does eventually hit the 50 and the 100 and 200, and it goes all the way up, but it's going to be really far out there on the x-axis when it does. Also, we can see it definitely never goes across that y-axis, never hits that x equals 0, never goes into negative territory. So changing back here, we'll maybe put this as log of x plus 5 and log of x minus 2. So the plus 5, that's the black logarithmic graph there. You can see that kicked it over to the left. So it was plus 5, and yet it shifted it to the left. So that's that sort of opposite sort of behavior that we have come to expect actually now. Expect the unexpected when it comes to horizontal transformations. And minus 2 shifting to the right. So we see it's crossing the x-axis, no longer at 1, but now at 3. All right. So just a word on those transformations and how they may affect the domain and the range. So if you have x minus 2, we saw that's going to shift it over to the right. So we have a new vertical asymptote here at x equals 2. The range is still the same, still goes all the way down, still goes all the way up here, but the domain is no longer x greater than 0, it's now x greater than 2. Now, don't confuse the domain with the y-intercept. The y-intercept is 1 past that, so this is at 3. It's not really to scale here. But anyway, that asymptote is at positive 2. Now, if we have that vertical shift, log of x minus 3, then that was this whole graph that have shifted down 3 units. That domain is the same. We don't hit the x-axis, or sorry, we don't hit the y-axis, so we still have all x's greater than 0. The range is still from negative infinity to positive infinity, so that's all still good. We are eventually going to hit all those values, but just really, really slow. Still hits all y values, but slowly. Thanks for watching.